Hey guys, welcome to MouseGen. We all just recently watched the new Spiderman Homecoming movie, and we just wanted to come at you with kind of our thoughts and opinions of it. So what were kind of your guys' first reactions for it?
Okay, well, if we're going to start with me, I really loved it. I thought it was a really good movie. I thought kind of the overall casting, filming, story, where it is in the Marvel Universe was perfect, and I think it was a good first Spider-Man movie as far as where this is in the current Marvel timeline. So I, definitely go see it person.
Personally, I think I really did enjoy it. I would rate it probably like an 8 out of 10 or something, if that matters. I think my biggest gripe with this movie was that I came in with such high expectations they were impossible to meet. It was one of those scenarios. So I was a little let down, but it was a really good movie. I definitely recommend seeing it. There are a couple things that I had like issues with. Of course, I'm the problem guy. But like I'll get into that a little bit later. Go ahead. Please.
Basically, he just came off watching Guardians.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it. Not my favorite of the Marvel movies, but definitely higher up there. It was funny, but still definitely kind of darker and serious in comparison to kind of some of the more recent ones, with the exception of Civil War, maybe.
Yeah.
Which I don't think many people were expecting that. When you're seeing this Tom Holland movie with this little kid, like, you're not expecting it to be that dark or that intense most of the time.
Tom Holland.
It was like funny though still, don't get me wrong. Like it was hilarious, but it definitely had kind of its darker...
Yes, yeah, I agree. Throwing it out to just some of the casting, I think Tom Holland was great. I mean, he played that high school 15-year-old kid perfectly. You can tell his just natural, I think, athleticism. Like I think he's probably the closest thing to someone actually being bit by a radioactive spider and becoming like the superhero that you could probably find. And then Michael Keaton as the villain.
He was good.
I love him.
Vulture, right?
Yeah.
He was perfect. I said this, if you watched our Instagram story the day of, I mentioned this, but like there were several moments where it was just a long shot of his evil looking face, and I was like terrified because that's just Michael Keaton. So I think that was perfect. All around when you learn more about his character and why he does what he does, I mean, he plays that part well too.
Yeah.
I think that was wonderful.
Yeah, kind of keeping on the theme of Vulture too, I thought his own origin story was pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because, typically in the comics he's kind of that like lab experiment, I believe. And he's has the actual wings, where in this case he was like that ordinary construction worker guy.
He's a tech
and they kind of
genius. So I guess he almost kind of builds on someone else's genius, and he's like the ringleader.
Yeah.
This would probably be a good time to kind of go into where this movie is and how it sets up, I think. And I think this isn't really a spoiler since it happens right in the beginning of the movie.
No, I mean, so you get right in the beginning, and they kind of give you a little synopsis of what happens with his involvement in Civil War. It's a really, like, kind of fun way they did it from Peter Parker's aspect.
Before that, the movie opens right where the first Avengers ends.
Age of Ultron.
Oh, yeah, you're right, because it starts with them,
They're cleaning up New York City after the aliens have come through New York City. And Michael Keaton's character is there the day of. He was originally contracted with his crew to clean up, and then these guys hired by Tony Stark come in, and they all kind of lose their jobs. And but they make it away with some of this alien tech, and that's how he becomes this kind of shady weapons dealer guy, and how he develops his technology, and that's how he becomes Vulture.
Vulture, yeah.
I think the coolest part about that is that he's not a bad guy. He's like, I think he's a good person that just went down the wrong path. That story.
It was very much kind of that. Got caught up on the wrong path type thing. I mean, you get into it in the story. He's doing this, he says it right in the beginning, he's doing this for his family and to, provide for them.
And that society's like screwed him over from his jobs, from everything that he's had, so why is he trying to give back and do what's right?
He gets a little power hungry,
Which I think is
like
cool.
money grabby, but Great villain setup, I think.
I agree, yeah. But anyways, so they go through, you get a little story of his involvement in Civil War, and then it opens back up to basically him being dropped off by Tony Stark. If you've seen the trailers, you know the scene. But then it goes to basically 2 months after Civil War, and that's where the movie actually takes off.
So you have the beginning scene, which is after the first Avengers, and then you have 8 years later, you see this kind of other view of his fight in Civil War, and then it's the 2 months later, he's back in New York at school, basically.
Which, like, we're not trying to give away too many spoilers, because that
all happens in the first 5 minutes.
It is hilarious. Like, if you've seen the movie, you'll understand what we're talking about here. But
definitely adds to it.
Just getting into it, though, I know we've talked a little bit about Tom Holland, but I just want to, like, put my thought out there, is that of the 3 main Spider-Mans that we've seen in recent years, like Tobey Maguire, Andrew Garfield, and Tom Holland, he's by far the best. Like, he fits that young role. He fits, like, what we saw in the comic books when we were reading them as kids as, like, the Spider-Man. He's, like, sassy, he's arrogant, I don't know, he was hilarious. I really enjoyed watching him.
I don't know if I would call him arrogant. I think he's arrogant when he's the Spider-Man. Like, when he's Spider-Man, he's arrogant, but when he's Peter Parker, he's very kind of shy, timid.
He's a little geeky, nerdy dude.
Which I think is great. And I agree with you as far as casting. I hope they make his movies fast enough or keep his age with his character consistent, because I think that started to happen with the first trilogy, is Tobey Maguire kind of aged out of his role a little bit. And then things started to get kind of weird, but...
I didn't even think about that, because this is, like, the one Marvel role where, like, your age does really matter. Like, you're not really going to notice unless it's, like, 20 years. Tony Stark, it's not going to look any older. This kid is going to be, like, this young for so long.
I'm going to... Pardon me for using my phone. I want to look up and see how old... Keep talking. I want to see how old Tom Holland actually is. Because they have a little bit of wiggle room, but...
There's a little wiggle room, but, like, this is, like, the one main one where they have to focus on keeping him young and get those movies released.
Well, and his, like, involvement with the Avengers and him being young is really important.
Which is interesting.
Which you even see during Civil War, assuming you've seen it.
Well, according to Wikipedia, he was born in 1996.
So he's my age.
So...
He's 20.
He's 20.
Yeah. He's playing a 15-year-old, which, like...
He's playing a 15-year-old. So, I mean, I would say he probably has, maybe 5 years left of probably being passable as a teenager.
And he does look like a kid. Like, I would never put him as somebody who's my age, personally. He's a smaller dude.
I thought they did a good job, too, making all the high schoolers actually look and seem like high schoolers. Like, some movies you watch, and it's like, oh, here's... clearly a bunch of 30-year-olds playing high schoolers.
Yeah, I think they did a great job. Some of the other kind of casting that you see, Zendaya's in there as they did. This has been revealed that she's MJ, that she really doesn't have that big a role in the movie, but they set it up to where I think she's going to have a big role in a sequel or movies coming up. Who else is in there? I don't know if there's any other.
Kind of the bigger names.
Yeah, who was the other villain that we discovered was in there?
Scorpion.
Not Scorpion.
No,
the guy, the
Shocker.
Oh, Shocker. Yeah, Shocker makes his small appearance.
Which I think he's like a good enough villain to have like his own movie where he's like the main villain. I don't know why he's like this.
Well, is that character whoever is the Shocker? I mean, he may have been arrested. He was attached.
They don't really cover it.
They don't say what happens to him, so he may come back.
True.
Just like I think they set up for Vulture to come back.
That's true.
I don't think he would get his own movie though, because the way they developed him in this one, it doesn't really leave the room for that.
He switches. It was one person, it becomes another person.
Or maybe they have multiple Shockers. Who knows?
Like super easily, and again, Shocker isn't. Like a supernatural power, it's a tech-based power.
Yeah.
So.
Which Marvel's been getting into more lately.
Well, and that has to do a lot too with not being able to use kind of X-Men and mutants and any of that. So
they're kind of around it.
They have two paths. They either go the Inhuman route, which is more of what the TV shows are leaning towards now, and then we have kind of the techie techs and like kind of the Chris Evans or Captain America, like altered
genetic
mutation,
or not. Well, that's kind of X-Men, but
not
like
mutations, but
human.
The super soldiers.
Super soldiers. Yeah, that's a good way to put it. All right. What do we want to talk about next?
Do we want to get into a couple spoilers? Or?
Do you want to go into spoilers?
Yeah, I think we can.
Okay, so from now on, for the rest of the video, we're going to get into spoilers. So if you don't want to hear spoilers, thank you for watching, and we'll get with you later. But if you're okay hearing some spoilers, or you've already seen the movie, stay tuned, because I think it's going to get heated, maybe.
And if you don't want to hear the spoilers, come back and watch the video after you've seen the movie.
Yeah.
And hear our thoughts and compare yours.
Oh, and before we go with unspoilers, stay till the end of the credits, because someone didn't stay to the end of the credits and missed the end credit scene. So
I saw one of them. There are 2 end credit scenes. So
yeah, okay.
Gotta stay for the very end.
Bye, non-spoiler people.
And welcome. We're glad to have you.
All right, so who wants to go first?
Go ahead.
Anything? Any scenes or anything that stuck out?
I have a couple. Go ahead.
Well, I'll say for both of us, you may be different. You can jump in and say yes or no. We did not guess the twist at the end. Normally
that he was the dad.
That he was her dad.
I called that from the very beginning.
You know what? Looking back, I don't know if I was tired. I feel like normally I would have guessed something like that, but I did not call it at all. And honestly, not to be bad, it may have been a race thing because the spoiler that we're talking about, Michael Keaton is the father of this girl that Peter. No, not
what's her name?
Ivy.
I thought it was Claire or something. None of us remember her name. It's the girl Peter has a crush on the whole movie. Michael Keaton ends up being her dad, and the reason you don't get that is because Michael Keaton's wife is probably African American, black.
We saw her. She is.
Yeah. So the daughter is obviously a mixed race, and Michael Keaton's obviously white. So
which kind of threw
I did not call that because I'm a terrible person, but I think it was a great twist. It all of a sudden brought so much together because I was curious how
they were going to bring the story back to it.
Because kind of in the middle of the movie, Peter loses his special suit. Tony Stark comes and takes it away because Peter caused this kind of terrible, he didn't cause it, but he was involved in this terrible disaster. So Tony Stark takes his suit away, and Peter promises that he won't get involved with anything anymore. And he keeps his promise. He doesn't start saving people again and stuff, but then all of a sudden he figures out who the Vulture is, and the Vulture kind of threatens him.
Yeah.
And, it brings it all together. So
it's pretty funny when he figures out who the Vulture is. He's going to pick up the girl to take her to the homecoming dance, and then the dad answers it. So my whole time, it's funny.
And then I thought he was going to say, "Here's Johnny," because that's how creepy Michael Keaton's face looked.
It's funny you guys mentioned that though, because I talked about this with the people that I went with, and I was thinking the whole time that he had to be her dad because that's the only way the two things could connect. But when he answered the door, I immediately threw that out of the way, and I was like, he figured out that he's going to the dance with this girl, and it's just this total setup.
You taking him hostage or something.
Yeah, which is where I thought it was going to end up going, but then it went back to my original prediction, so I was happy with that.
Yeah.
That was interesting at the very end when they're in the prison, though, and he doesn't throw him under the bus.
Yes, well, and it could be because he saved his life, he, in the end, maybe, feels a little bit, he seemed very much the kind of guy in the movie, he made a reference to this once, where he's kind of like a ear for an ear, life for a life type guy, he saved his daughter's life, he's going to give him a chance, then he saved Vulture's life, so now maybe he feels like he's going to give him another chance or something like that. He seems like that might be his common thought process, but, or he may try to use that, I was thinking, as, leverage with maybe this band of villains to get these villains to help work for him, build up a group. If he's the only one who knows who Spider-Man is, he has that power over people. So,
which would be awesome. And I feel like Spider-Man in this one in particular, I don't know how you guys felt, but he wasn't that great at fighting. I feel like he just kind of he was good with his web. Yeah, he was very young. And I think that's something that the movie very much stressed was this kid is young, he doesn't know what he's doing, and it was even funny that the whole time with the suit is very mechanical, the Spider-Man suit, and the whole time it's the training wheels initiative and stuff like that Tony Stark put on him.
Yeah.
And I thought that was hilarious because it's actually what's happening is that this kid doesn't know what he's doing, but he's trying to get up to the Avengers level.
Yeah. And there's a sub-theme in the movie too, where he gets, in the end, where he actually tries to defeat the villain and everything, he doesn't have his super special suit. The whole thing that Tony says to him is, if you think like you get all your power from the suit, then
if you're nothing without the suit, then you shouldn't have it.
Then you shouldn't have it. So then he kind of proves to himself that he is something without the suit.
Which, like, it's cool because this kid's like the little geeky kid that doesn't have more than one friend. I love the friend, by the way, the dead kid. He is
so
great.
Funny.
I don't know who the actor was, but that kid was great.
I've seen some like extras with them together, and they're both hilarious.
That was so funny. I love that kid. But I thought it was cool because he was like, he's the geeky little nerd kid who probably doesn't have any self-esteem. So when he has the suit, of course he does, but when he doesn't, he's powerless. And I think it's cool that he had to, like,
very much a
learn
coming-of-age story. Like,
yeah.
I think probably this is maybe the most kind of pre-teen friendly movie. I feel like this has a really good kind of family message that's easy to grasp, maybe for some younger kids. What do you think?
I don't know if it's a kid for
not
movie for younger kids.
Not like little kids, but I'm like, I feel like maybe middle school and up could get some value out of it. I mean, it's PG-13. It has some language. I mean, I saw like 3 5-year-olds in the theater, so I don't know how many people care about that, but I think it has a good message to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's about him kind of being comfortable where he is and wanting to be there.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not all that graphic either. Like, if you're going for, if the thing that you're wrong with, have an issue with is like language for your kids, then definitely don't take them. But if you're thinking that they'll be scared, I don't think it's that bad.
There's one kind of hilarious placed rude hand gesture.
True.
So keep that in mind.
So funny.
That was really funny. I think it would be okay. I don't know. I'm not a mom. So.
It's all about like risk taking and learning who you are and stuff, and I think that was really cool.
Trying to think of any other like specific moments that are just great. That would be maybe spoilers.
Okay, my other question for you guys, it's not a huge deal, but the whole party scene and when he didn't go introduce himself, I was angry. I was like, I want to see him go in there for the party.
Oh, you wanted Spider-Man to show up for the party?
I really did. I don't know why.
Well, I mean, he was going to. Like, he got suited up for that
I feel like
cause.
they had to, I mean, but they really had to set him up. How is he going to see this villain thing happen? And it makes sense that it was out in the suburbs and not in the city for that to happen.
To do it so bad.
Not only that, I feel like that would make it incredibly apparent who he was. Like, in the whole scheme of keeping your secret identity.
The 1 5-minute conversation that they have in the back of the car, that's how I keep calling Michael Keaton, that's how Vulture figures out who he is. So I feel like everyone else in this like school of genius kids was going to figure out who he was if he did that.
Yeah.
So... I don't know. And plus they had to keep those kids kind of against him. They had to like have him not show up because...
They were so mean to him.
Yeah,
though. They really... I've never seen bullying like that.
That one kid was kind of the instigator.
Yeah, Flash.
He was such a jerk.
Yeah.
I don't know. Blake, did you have any thoughts though?
No, I think that about covers... I mean, like I said, I liked it. It doesn't really fit as high up there as, you know... The Guardians of the Galaxy, Doctor Strange, Ant-Man. But I thought it was good. It was definitely had a different feel from what we're used to.
Yeah, it's definitely light years above my worst Marvel movie, I would say. Maybe not up there with my favorites. I think Ant-Man may be my personal favorite at this point.
I think we should do a video ranking Marvel movies.
Oh, we will.
I think we need to.
We will.
That would be tough, though.
All right.
Alright guys, well, thanks for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe and leave a comment what you thought of the movie and any of your other interesting Marvel movies.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Have a good day.